The laughter began before the music did. Hundreds of students, teachers, and guests filled the bright concert hall for the annual Daytime Arts Festival, expecting polished performances from the Academy's finest singers. Instead, their attention turned toward an elderly janitor standing alone on the stage, clutching a worn cleaning cloth with trembling hands. The celebrated vocal instructor had pointed at him in front of everyone, smiling with cruel confidence as she insisted that if he loved humming while cleaning the halls so much, he should prove himself before the audience. Embarrassed whispers spread through the room. Some reached for their phones, expecting an unforgettable public humiliation. No one imagined they were seconds away from witnessing a voice so extraordinary that it would silence every heart in the building. If you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances still exist, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to our channel. Every act of support helps our community continue sharing stories that remind us true greatness begins with compassion. For almost 12 years, Cedric Rowan had quietly cleaned the corridors of Ashbourne Conservatory, one of the country's most prestigious music schools. Every morning before sunrise, he polished the grand staircase, swept rehearsal rooms, and repaired broken chairs before students arrived. Most people barely noticed him. They simply saw an aging janitor pushing a cart through the hallways. Few knew that he once dreamed of becoming an opera singer. Decades earlier, he had earned a scholarship to study classical music, but tragedy struck when his father suffered a severe accident. Cedric abandoned his education to care for his family, working endless jobs until the dream that once filled his heart slowly faded into silence. Even after all those years, music never truly left him. Whenever the rehearsal rooms stood empty, he softly sang while mopping the polished floors. His voice echoed gently through empty corridors, carrying emotions too deep for words. A few students occasionally paused outside the doors, wondering where the beautiful sound came from, but Cedric always stopped before anyone discovered him. One person who disliked those quiet melodies was Vivica Mercer, the Academy's internationally celebrated vocal instructor. She demanded perfection from everyone around her and believed greatness belonged only to those with prestigious careers and expensive training. To her, Cedric was merely the janitor who sometimes distracted students with unnecessary humming. She viewed him as someone who didn't know his place. As preparations continued for the annual concert, Vivica overheard several students praising the mysterious singing voice they sometimes heard after rehearsals. Assuming they were exaggerating, she laughed and declared that even the Academy's cleaning staff apparently imagined themselves performers. Her pride grew stronger when one student suggested the unknown singer sounded more emotional than many professionals. Vivica decided to prove everyone wrong. Just before the afternoon performance began, she spotted Cedric cleaning near the stage. Smiling confidently, she invited him before the audience under the disguise of a harmless joke. The students laughed nervously. Teachers exchanged uncomfortable glances. Cedric politely declined, explaining that he wasn't prepared. Vivica insisted. The audience waited. Finally, wishing to avoid creating more embarrassment, Cedric slowly walked onto the stage. He stood beneath brilliant lights wearing his faded work clothes while surrounded by elegantly dressed performers. Someone handed him a microphone. The room became painfully quiet. Cedric closed his eyes. For several long seconds, nothing happened. Then he remembered the lullaby his late mother used to sing while encouraging him never to abandon kindness, even when life abandoned his dreams. The first note left his lips. Everything changed. It wasn't simply beautiful. It was breathtaking. His voice carried warmth, sorrow, hope, and decades of quiet sacrifice woven together into every phrase. Each note rose effortlessly before filling the enormous hall with astonishing richness. Students who had spent years studying advanced vocal techniques stared in disbelief. Even the orchestra instinctively adjusted their playing to follow him. No one laughed anymore. Many quietly cried. The final sustained note floated through the concert hall with breathtaking control before fading into complete silence. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then the audience erupted into thunderous applause unlike anything the Academy had witnessed in decades. Several people stood. Then everyone else followed. The standing ovation continued for minutes. Vivica remained frozen. She had intended to expose an amateur. Instead, she had revealed a master. Among the guests sat retired conductor Alastair Vaughan, one of Europe's most respected musical directors. Tears filled his eyes as he slowly approached the stage. He recognized Cedric immediately. 40 years earlier, he had judged the scholarship competition Cedric won before disappearing from the music world without explanation. Alastair had spent decades wondering what became of the gifted young singer whose future once seemed limitless. Now he finally knew. Cedric quietly shared the story he had hidden for so many years. He explained how family responsibilities forced him to leave the conservatory. After losing both parents within a short time, survival became more important than ambition. Years turned into decades. His voice remained, but the opportunities disappeared. No one in the audience saw failure. They saw extraordinary courage. Vivica listened with growing shame. For the first time, she realized how easily pride had blinded her to another person's unseen struggles. After the concert, videos of Cedric's performance spread across the country. Millions watched the elderly janitor whose voice carried more genuine emotion than many famous performers. Invitations arrived from orchestras, television programs, and opera companies eager to hear him sing again. Cedric accepted only a few. He explained that fame had never been his dream. Music itself had always been enough. Instead, he returned to the conservatory each morning, continuing his work with the same humility as before. But something inside the academy changed forever. Students began greeting every cleaner, gardener, receptionist, and cafeteria worker with genuine respect. They realized extraordinary stories often hid behind ordinary uniforms. Vivica struggled with overwhelming regret. One afternoon she found Cedric quietly polishing the empty rehearsal room where everything had begun. She apologized sincerely. She admitted that success had made her arrogant and that she had forgotten the purpose of music. Music was never meant to prove superiority. It existed to heal hearts. Cedric smiled gently. He told her that the most beautiful voices were not always the loudest. Sometimes they belonged to people who spent their lives lifting others instead of themselves. Those words remained with Vivica forever. Determined to change, she transformed her teaching. Instead of selecting students based only on technical perfection, she searched for kindness, perseverance, and emotional honesty. Her classes became known not for producing flawless singers but compassionate artists. Months later, the conservatory organized another daytime concert. This time, Cedric wasn't invited as a joke. He opened the performance as the guest of honor. Before singing, he dedicated the concert to every person who had quietly sacrificed dreams to care for someone they loved. Parents, caregivers, workers, ordinary heroes. The audience rose before he even sang. Among them stood Vivica, applauding louder than anyone else. When Cedric finished his final song, the applause felt different from fame. It sounded like gratitude. He had reminded everyone that talent may impress people, but humility changes them. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment and tell us, have you ever discovered that someone everyone overlooked possessed an extraordinary gift? If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. As the afternoon sunlight poured through the conservatory windows, Cedric quietly picked up his cleaning cart once more. The applause eventually faded, the audience returned home, and the stage lights dimmed, but one lesson remained brighter than any spotlight. Never measure a person's worth by their job, their clothes, or the title others give them. Some of the world's greatest masterpieces remain hidden inside ordinary people, waiting for one unexpected moment to remind us that true greatness is born not from pride, but from perseverance, sacrifice, humility, and a heart that never stops singing.